Hello, guys. You made it through parts 1 and 2, or maybe you just skipped to part 3. I don't know. But if you're still on this journey with me, thank you. I appreciate you. I love you so much for even just listening. Because at this point, I'm really just talking to myself. So, anyway, continuing on. I think I ended the last video talking about, that middle part that nobody sees. That's the hardest part of any journey. Anything you're trying to do, the middle is the hardest part. Because in the beginning, you're excited and it's something new and you have a newfound energy for whatever that thing is. By the middle, you've gone through so much stuff that you just want to lay down. Like, you've gone through so much, and it doesn't matter what it is, whether that's losing weight, buying a house, starting a job, starting school, having a baby, whatever it is. Like, the beginning is exciting, and the middle part is that like rough part. And so I was in the middle of all of this, and somehow I came across Brene Brown's TED Talk about the power of vulnerability. And I read it and I listened to it, and it's 20 minutes. Maybe I'll find a link to it or I'll put it in the description box. And I was like, okay, something about her and how she presented her research and her data was like, yeah, I can do this. And I came across Brene, this may have been 2013, maybe. Yeah, 2013, because that was my 8th year. So this came across in 2013. She had written a book called Daring Greatly. And the book starts off with her using the quote from President Roosevelt's speech about being in the arena. And being in the arena is an act of daring greatly. Like, you're in there by yourself. You're mired in dust and dirt. And you can't listen to the people that's in the stands. You're in the arena, and no one else can do it. And it was motivating to me. And Oprah at the time was doing Oprah's Life class. She'd ended her show, but she had started her own network, and one of the shows was called Life Class. And I went on to Oprah's website, and I saw like a little thing in the corner of the website. Like, you had to be paying attention to it. And it was about Brene. I knew it was about Brene, but it didn't say that in the description. It might have said something like, share your story of vulnerability or act of courage. Are you someone who wants to dare greatly? It might have said something like that. It never said Brene's name. So I clicked the link and I filled out the interest form. And I had done this before to try to actually be in the audience of the Oprah Winfrey show. They never contacted me back. This time, though, I did it and I released it. I kept reading Renee's book or whatever videos I could find about it. She actually had a 6-hour like lecture series on the power of vulnerability, and I bought it and I listened to it. And I think what was drawing me, one, is that she was a qualitative researcher. And the way that she framed her research and the way she talked about her research, and then also the topic that she was dealing with and talking about, and what I was dealing with at the time about like shame and being vulnerable and having courage, just spoke to me. So I applied, I sent it in. I don't know, a few weeks later or so, a producer from the show calls me. I'm coming back from the airport from a work trip, and I'm in the car with my mom, and she's asking me questions, and we're just talking. We had a very good conversation. And she was like, well, I'll let you know. I don't know when the show is going to air. I don't even know if you'll be invited to come to the show, but I'll keep you posted. And like 2 weeks later, I got an invitation email to attend the show. And I attended the show. I flew myself up to Chicago because they didn't pay for any of that. So I flew myself up to Chicago. I got myself a room. I did all that. And on the show, I talked about like, I'm in my 8th year and kind of how I was feeling. And both Brene and Oprah gave me good words. And so this is what I mean by like some mustard seed faith. And I put something out there. And I was looking for any type of encouragement. I needed it from all angles. And I went there and I got it. And that moment helped me probably for like the next 3 years. I still refer back to that book. I refer back to that experience, because who would have ever thought that having a dream of something and you put it out there and it comes to fruition? Like, I never would have thought that, but it helped me refocus on my degree and what I was doing. So then fast forward a few years, I started a new job, and I'm now in year 11, I think. And I was like, I have got to finish this dissertation. I have got to finish. And this first year, this job was so hard. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I would go to work and I would come home and I would write. My weekends, I would write. And I don't know. I just, these last 2 years, I have been through a lot. And I'm pausing, I think, because as I reflect on all of what I've been through these last 2 years of trying to really focus and finish, it's nothing but God. Like, it is nothing but Him and my faith. That's it. Because, you have people who are around you that say they support you, and they say that they're proud of you and that you're inspiring. They will say things to you, right? And they sound good. They sound nice. But their actions say something totally different. And trying to hold on to what you know is true and what you're destined to do and purpose to do and supposed to do, while combating what I'm going to say, the evil negative forces in your life, it takes a lot out of you. And you have to be aware of people positioning themselves in your life as a friend when they're really your foe. Positioning themselves as someone who is for you when they're against you. And so I had to pull out a lot of scripture. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will feel no evil, for thou art with me. Like, I had to say that to myself. I had to walk in spaces, literally walk in spaces, and interact with people that did not mean me well. And so before I went into those spaces, I had to encourage myself. And those are things like that people don't talk about at all. Like, when you're going through stuff, you hear people say at the end, hallelujah, I'm finished, it's over, praise. You know why they praise it? Because all of the stuff that had happened before that. I digress. But anyway, I digress. I'm going to get back on a positive note, because at the same time, you do have people who are really here for you. Like, you really got some stands. Like, you really got some people that's got your back. So I really had some people that's got my back. Like, my family, again, Jory, my committee, my godmother, my boyfriend, my ace, like my family. Like, I really had some people that was in my corner. And I was like, I am going to finish. And in every petition, they kept, going. They kept approving them. So I kept going. If you're going to let me go, I'm going to go. But the grad college was like, okay, woman, you're going to have to come to an end. And so, I don't know, maybe a year ago, like the beginning of August, July, I don't know, of 2017, that was it. They were like, you don't have no more time. Like, I had really expended all of my time. And I had to stay focused. And it was quite lonely during that time, because no one can help you finish your degree but you. No one can help you finish your dissertation but you. And even if you have faith that it's going to get done, faith without works is dead. You got to work. You still got to put forth energy and effort. You got to tell people no that you don't want to tell no. You can't go out and hang out and party. You're going to stay up. For about 6 months, I would wake up, at about 7:30, and then sometime between 7:30 and 9 if it was a good day. Um, but I wouldn't go to bed till like 2 to 4 a.m. I would go to work. I hang out with my boyfriend or hang out with a friend for a little while. I might eat dinner. I might take a nap. I might like get a break between work and actually writing, and then I will write. Um, and if it weren't also for Dr. Beverly Johnson, who I knew from undergrad from UGA, who was going through her process, sending me, here's an editor. Do you need me to read it? You can do it. Let me call you. Like, if it weren't for people like that, I would not have finished at all. But God brought those people in when they needed to come. And you have to have faith that that's going to happen. You know, if God gives you a vision, He will provide the provision. And provision is not always money. Yes, it includes money, but provision is also people. It's also um, just sometimes silence. He will provide you with whatever it is you need to make the vision come to fruition, if it's of Him. And so, yeah, I was exhausted. I had to have a talk to myself and say, you're gonna be tired for the next however many months. You're gonna be tired. You're probably not gonna be the friendliest of people. You're gonna have to put on a mask because you can't let how tired you are or how exhausted you are show up. You're gonna gain some weight. Like, I had to come today too. Like, I was already not a skinny girl, but I was like, you're gonna gain some weight because you're not gonna be able to cook. Your eating is gonna be off. You're not gonna be able to exercise because when are you gonna be able to do all that? You're gonna gain weight. And that was a hard thing to tell yourself when you're already at the point where you needed to lose about 50 pounds, to be like, I already needed to lose 50, but I'm gonna gain some more. Like, I just am. I don't know what else to say, but I am. And it's those things that you kind of have to come to grips with, that you're not ready to. You'd be like, I wanted to move and buy a home. Girl, you can't do that right now. It's like, you can't do that. Like, that's too much to put on your plate right now. Your plate is already full and overflowing. You already are having anxiety. I was having panic attacks. I was having, and when I say panic attacks, and they would only happen at night, which is strange. When I'm thinking I'm resting, they would happen. I would get extremely overheated. I would not be able to like catch my breath, like in the middle of the night, and I it had to calm down. So I had to do a lot of like meditation and deep breathing and relaxation exercises just to get my body to like calm down. I had so much anxiety and so much stress, and on top of exhaustion. The last 6 months, I would say from January 2018, well, I'll say 7, however long it took me, from January 2018 to July till I finished, my body went through hell. Hell. But I was determined. That's all I say. But I was determined. But I had faith. But I had to. And these are things that people don't talk about, and they don't tell you you're going to experience. So if anybody's going through anything right now, I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be a degree program. I don't care what it is. If you are going through it right now, at some point you're going to have a real serious sit down and talk with yourself and accept what it is that you're going through. And accept that it's going to be like this. But it's just temporary. It's just temporary. It's not going to be here always. But only accept it if you have been purposed and destined for it. If you haven't been purposed or destined for it, if God hasn't given you the vision for it, if God hasn't made way for your talent or skill to come through, you need to let it go. Like, don't go through that for no reason. Like, don't go through that in vain. So, if you're going through right now, but you have been purposed for it, go through it. And do your best to accept the changes and the transitions that you're going to have to make to go through. Stay tuned. Part 4.